We have here verse 23 of the 13th chapter of the Gospel of John. We have the aftermath of Jesus washing the disciples' feet, instructing them as to the meaning of it, accepting out, of course, from it the character Judas, who is going to be the one who, though is a participant, is nevertheless going a different direction, is going to be responsible for the betrayal of Jesus. And Jesus hasn't disclosed his identity, of course, but he simply said it's one of the disciples. And as a result of that, of course, there's a fair amount of perplexity that's being evidenced among the disciples as they're trying to figure out who it is. And so we have now a reference to John, who is traditionally the author of this account, of course. And so we have ein. This is from eimi, I am, third person singular imperfect, active indicative. So it's going to mean it was or he was. The subject is actually this right here. There would be a rough breather there. Hais, the word one, of course it's an adjective, it's the number one, so one, and then was, and ek preposition takes the genitive, means out of or of. So with the genitive tone, the genitive masculine plural article, the matheton, the disciples, which is a masculine noun, and then out to, showing the possessive pronoun here, genitive singular masculine. So one of the disciples was, and then here we have a participle, so it's anakamenos. This is from anakemai. It means to lean. It is actually a combination of ana and then chemos here means to stretch out. Idiomatically, it meant to lean against something. You might lean against a fence or a wall or something, but in this case, of course, one of the disciples is leaning, and then in, preposition, takes the dative, to kolpo. Kolpo from kolpos is the word. It means the bosom. The breast is the idea. And so it's in, takes the dative. This is the dative singular masculine article, then the kolpo, the bosom or breast, to Yesu, of Jesus. So one of the disciples was leaning against Jesus' chest, we might say, in this rather endearing posture we have pictured for us at the Last Supper. And then this additional remark that John makes, assuming, of course, he's the author, dependent clause here, ho, Jesus, Jesus. And then this is the relative pronoun. It's the accusative singular masculine, so we render it whom. And then the subject, Jesus loved, whom Jesus loved, agape from agapao. I love is the idea. This is the third person singular imperfect active indicative, who Jesus loved and continued to love would be the force of it. So one of these, and of course the reason that John highlights this is he's the one that's going to pose the question now to Jesus as to who exactly is it that is going to commit this deed that Jesus has just described.